everybody, and welcome to my channel. So today we will be doing a first volume vlog where I will be reading a bunch of first volumes that I have in my collection that I really need to get through, and I'll give you guys my first impressions, my reviews, and I'll let you know, if I'm buying the second volume or not. My current stack I have right now is about 14, and I actually have a package coming with 2 more first volumes, so I guess it'll be 16 in total. We're not going to read all 16 of them in this video. I think we'll probably read maybe around 5 to 10 of them. Hopefully closer to 10. But yeah, fun fact about me, I'm very intentional with my reading lists. Like, I will read things in a very particular order. Like, as not to mix too much of the same genres or the same, like, tropes. And, like, if I have long series, then maybe I'll pair it with something else. Or if I have all of the series in the collection already, then I'll read it. You know. So this stack is organized in a specific order, and I'll go ahead and show you guys so you can see like what we're working with. Okay, this is kind of tough. Okay, here is the stack. It's backwards, so Kowloon is actually first and Chobits is like, it sits this way. So this is the bottom and this is the front. So I'm hoping to maybe get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. I already forgot. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, maybe around Goodnight, Punpun. Maybe it's Kama-sama Kiss is, like, the goal. Because my thought process is, not that you guys care, but I do have all of Tokyo Ghoul. Some of these are rereads, by the way. Like, Tokyo Ghoul's a reread. Full Moon and Chobits are going to be rereads. That's why they're at the bottom. But Tokyo Ghoul, like, I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it in my collection or not, so I need to get through that quickly. And it's towards the top so that, like, it can be the long series. Well, not long, but, like, I have the whole collection, so it'll be the thing I, like, read mostly. So I probably won't get too much further past Tokyo Ghoul. I'll probably get to Goodnight Punpun, though, realistically, or Kami-sama Kiss. And then these will be for the next time, if I even... We'll see. The goal is Kami-sama Kiss. Let's say that. Let's shoot for the stars, guys. So, yeah. I did read a couple of these already, so we'll go ahead and talk about them. So, I did read the first 2. We read Kowloon and Something's Wrong With Us. I read Kowloon first, so we'll go ahead and talk about this one first. Wow. This story has more of a slice of life feel. We follow this girl. Her name's Reiko. She's a real estate agent in the city of Kowloon. It's a very, like, densely populated city with a lot of, like, wage gap issues, financial issues. But I really, really enjoy this setting. Like, I don't know, it has this, like, rugged inner city feel, but, like, at the same time, because it's based on a real city that was in Hong Kong, it has, like, a lot of the Chinese cultural elements. Like, you can see she's wearing cultural garb, and, like, let me see. They go to this, like, specific place. Yeah, see? They go to this, like, street food, like, street. And they just go around and eat a bunch of food. And, like, it has this very specific atmosphere that I really enjoy. Another thing about it is that, like, I'm not very well-versed in, like, Chinese, the language, and, like, different conventions. So it was quite interesting at the end of the vlog. Because a lot of things, the names of the streets and etc. are like the like Chinese. So I actually took the time to like sit and read these notes because I didn't really know anything about the language, and I think that that's like really interesting. But in terms of the actual content of the story, I was very intrigued by this first volume. I'll definitely be buying the second one. The like plot twist at the end was crazy. Like, it wasn't, I don't know, they kept talking about like, oh, nostalgia. Like, I really liked the idea of, like, oh, nostalgia is, like, a form of love in itself, and, like, how love and nostalgia come together. But then, like, they actually brought that home at the end with the twist at the end. Like, I thought it was so well done. Like, it was so foreshadowed, but, like, at the same time, still surprising, So I'm very interested to see what happens in the next volumes. Also, she's a baddie. Like, there's a lot of, like, sexual scenes. Not sexual, but, like, implied scenes. Like, for example, in this first thing, like, she's eating the watermelon, and they give you all these shots, and there's another part, actually I shouldn't show. There's another part where she's like painting and then she like almost passes out and she's sweaty and stuff, and like it's not necessary, but it doesn't really bother me because she's hot, you know, like she's fine. Like look at her. This is a cover buy. Let's be real, this is a cover buy. She looked cool on the cover, so I wanted to read it. And then obviously everything else was cool. I wouldn't mind if they toned down those scenes though. Hopefully they do, because I think it's gonna take like a kind of supernatural sci-fi twist in the future volumes. Maybe like, you know, they'll tone down on the other stuff, but overall, yeah, I'll definitely be buying the second volume of this. So now for Something's Wrong with Us. This is like this is a revenge drama type of story. So they were childhood friends at one point, but this guy basically accused her mother of murdering his father. So then they ended up falling off. But now she's like back into his life, and she's trying to figure out like the truth behind her mother's, well, I guess his father's death and her mother's like role in that story, I guess. So yeah, I'm like kind of lukewarm about it. Like I think if I already do own volumes 1 through 4 because it was like a bundle on Right Stuff, and I think that if I didn't own the next volumes, I wouldn't be like running to the store to get it, you know. Since I have the other ones, I'll definitely be reading them. I think my issue with it is that it just felt like we were moving really fast in this first volume. Like the things like we established, you know, like her mother supposedly killed his father, and it was a whole thing, and then suddenly like we're just moving so fast. Like she's rekindling all this stuff with him like so quickly. By the end of this volume, like we already have like something that felt like it could have taken a couple volumes to establish itself. I'm not sure, like once you think about that, it's like, wow, like if we're moving this fast already, I wonder, like that must mean there's a lot of crazy stuff that's gonna happen later on. Like if crazy stuff's already happening in this first volume, there has to be like even more crazy things that are gonna happen. And I don't know if that excites me or like scares me, but I guess that's something I will find out in the next volume, which I will definitely be reading because I already own it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Something's Wrong with Us and Kowloon. Should I rank them as I go? I feel like that would be interesting. So for now, obviously Kowloon is number 1 and Something's Wrong with Us is number 2. And then I'm gonna get into reading Usotoki Rhetoric and Anti-Romance because I have Barnes & Noble put the pre-order sale on. It's live right now, so you know, if I like these, I'm gonna pre-order them. So yeah, this one's only a 2-volume series. This one's like 10-volume series, but yeah, I'm gonna start with Usotoki Rhetoric and then go into Anti-Romance, and I'll let you know. I'll try to let you guys know in like sets of 2. So I'll see you then. Hello, it has been a little less than a week since I filmed the first clip from this video, and just a little recap of the things I've done since then. I did run out and buy Kowloon Volume 2 and subsequently read Volume 2, and I love it. And I did my order on Barnes & Noble for the 25% off because I did read a couple of things that were going to be pre-ordered in that order. What else did I do? I got my packages with a couple more first volumes, and I went to the library and got even more first volumes, as if I didn't have enough first volumes to do in my own collection. So, with that being said, we will start off by talking about the ones I did read. I did read 3 of them, and then I'll show you guys my little library slash purchases haul of other first volumes I need to read. So, let's start with the first one. We have Usotoki Rhetoric. This is the new shoujo on the block. It has an odd trim size, just so you're aware. This is something that's pretty important to me, but it's the same width as an average like Viz, like Shonen Jump, Shoujo Beat title, but it is taller. The width is the same, but this is like slightly taller. So just keep that in mind for when you are organizing your shelves or whatever. But in terms of the actual content, I did really enjoy this one. So it is a historical setting, so it takes place in 1920s Japan, and the girl on the cover, she has been given, or like was born with the ability to actually hear lies. So if somebody is lying to her, then she can hear it in like the way the air sounds. I don't like, it sounds like a grating sound, if that makes sense. You can tell with the like way that the text bubbles look, you know. It has this like metal grating sound, and that's how she hears it. So because of this, a lot of people in her hometown kind of shunned her, and she ultimately ends up running away from that hometown and trying to seek a new life in a new area, and she becomes a partner to a detective, a local detective in the area who is, you know, trying to make a name for himself. And obviously having somebody who can hear lies on your team is an asset for a detective, and they just become homies and they go on little adventures. So far, it's pretty episodic in nature. Like, they've done a couple one-off cases in this, so I'm quite curious to see how it looks in the future. But for right now, I really enjoy our main two characters. She's very sweet. I'm really happy to see her realize that her powers can be used for good, because, you know, she's been ridiculed for it for her whole life, but now there's somebody who actually appreciates her for her talents. And then, on the other hand, I think the guy is pretty spunky. He kind of reminds me of Yato from Noragami. They kind of have the same, like, setup, you know? Like, Yato is a god who's, like, trying to get a shrine, and then this guy is a detective trying to, like, make a name for himself. If you like Yato, you would like the guy in the series. So, yeah. Thumbs up from me. I ordered the next volumes, so yay. The next one volume was Anti-Romance. This is a 2-volume series. It is gonna be like one of my first proper BL series, the other being My Love Mix-Up, but I feel like this one's more BL in the sense that, like, the only couple is a gay couple, but in My Love Mix-Up, like, there's a straight couple as well. But anyways, so this one follows these two guys who have been, like, besties since high school. They became roommates, but now, like, their relationship, like, they've been roommates for a little too long, you know, and they're trying to, like, understand what they mean to each other. And I like the tone that's being set up in this. It's very, like, you can tell if they're, like, kind of pining for each other, and I just really like the tone, pretty much. And I'm definitely gonna get volume 2 because, you know, there's only 2 volumes. But unfortunately, I don't know why I didn't put it in the Barnes & Noble order. Yeah, this one gets a thumbs up for me as well. And of course, at the end, I will give you guys, like, a ranking of all the first volumes I read, and you guys can see, like, which ones I liked the most, which ones I disliked the most. So the final first volume for this clip, at least, is Princess Jellyfish Volume 1. This is one of the ones I got in the package. It's actually technically volumes 1 and 2 since it's an omnibus, but for this one I have not much to say. Like, it's not really much of a first impression because I did watch the Princess Jellyfish anime and I absolutely adored it. I thought it was so excellent. I literally gave it a 10 out of 10. I loved it so much. And of course I knew that the anime did not cover all of the content, so I clearly needed to get the manga. So I got the box set on a really good deal on Amazon. This volume covers, like, a bunch of stuff that's in the anime. I think volume 2 will probably be a good portion of stuff that's also from the anime, but I don't mind it. I think the art is really pretty. Yeah. If you haven't checked out Princess Jellyfish, I implore you to do so. I think you should watch the anime first, just so you know, like, if you like it or not. But it's a very, like, heartwarming series. They are adults as well, which I know is a big selling point for fellow adults. Yeah, love this one. And I already have the box set, so clearly I'm going to be reading the rest of it. And then the last order of business for this clip is to show you guys my other pickups / library haul. But yeah, I already mentioned I got the Princess Jellyfish box set, and then the other thing I got was actually a pre-order. I got A Condition Called Love, which came out this month, or in January, so I will be reading this one very, very soon. I have, like, I think the first 3 volumes pre-ordered, but I'm quite curious to know my opinion, like, how I will feel about this one, because it's apparently the guy likes her more than she likes him, and he gets a little toxic with it, so we'll see. And then for the library pickups, I went to the library for funsies the other day because I recently moved back to this specific city, and I wanted to renew my library card because, you know, it's really good for the community and stuff. And then I realized that they had something that I've been mildly interested in checking out, so I was like, let's check it out, you feel me? So we got Perfect World volumes 1 through 4. I decided to just get the first 4 for now, and then if I like it, whatever. If I don't, I don't. So obviously I will be reading the first volume for the sake of the video, and then I'll read the rest of them when I have a chance. So this one is about, I think they dated in high school and they're rekindling their love for each other, but now he is wheelchair bound and they're trying to kind of navigate the obstacles that presents in their relationship. I've heard that it's a little more dramatic, or it is very dramatic, so it might be a little too much for me. That's why I was like kind of on the fence of buying it this whole time, but since it was at the library, I get to try it for the free and I get to support the community. Shout out to supporting your communities, guys. Yeah, I think these two will be the next two I read, and maybe a couple more in the stack, but I will see you guys in the next clip, which probably will be the final clip. Hello everybody, so as promised, I have the final clip here for the first volume try video. So I read 4 of them in total, so that means I read 4 plus 3 plus 2. Yeah. 9. 9! Okay, which is pretty good. I said something more between 5 and 10 was gonna be my goal, so 9 is almost 10. So anyways, the first one we have here is Perfect World. Like I mentioned before, I rented this from the library. So this one is a josei series that follows these 2 people on the cover. They were friends in high school and kind of fell off from there. She had a crush on him in high school and they meet each other at a work meeting, and turns out that he's actually wheelchair bound now. So this is kind of navigating the world of like being an able person dating a disabled person. And this first volume was very strong to me. It's a lot of people have like, one of the biggest criticisms I see towards this series is that it's pretty melodramatic, but I feel like the drama in this volume specifically was like, it made sense, you know, like being disabled is a huge struggle, and I think that like the level of emotion and drama that was in this volume concerning the disability was very well done. Like, it wasn't too over the top to me. So yeah, I really enjoyed this first volume and I'm very excited to continue. Like, I have the first 4 checked out right now, and I think the rest of them are there, so it's pretty easy for me to just go in there and like rent the rest of them. So yeah, I have high hopes for this one actually. So this was a pleasant surprise because of everyone saying that it's super over dramatic. I have been like holding off on buying it because I usually just buy things when I'm interested in them. I don't typically try things before buying them, but this one I was like on the fence about. But yeah, we'll see how I feel like as we press forward, if I decide to collect it or not. For now, like, I really might. We'll have to see. But in terms of will I read the next volume, absolutely. Next we have Tokyo Ghoul, which, to preface all of this, I have read Tokyo Ghoul before. It just has been a very, very long time. Like, I probably read it 5 or 6 years ago, and you know, it's been sitting in my collection for so long that I want to reread it to make sure I still like it. I feel like the plot of this needs no introduction. I feel like a lot of people know what it's about. A guy, regular old human guy, ends up getting the organs of a ghoul transferred into his body, so he ends up being this like hybrid human ghoul and has to navigate the world of ghouls and humans at the same time. And it's a really interesting premise, and the setup is really nice. I think this first volume is really strong. Like, if I hadn't read it before, I would be very enthralled by like the events that take place in this first volume. But my issue with it is that like around, I want to say 10 or 11, I got bored of reading it. So we'll see what happens when I get to that point. Maybe I was just like too young and immature back then when I first read it, but for all intents and purposes of this video, I really did love this first volume, and I will be continuing to read the series since I obviously own the other volumes. But Tokyo Ghoul is a series that has a lot of praise and a lot of hype, and it's for very good reason, you know what I mean? Next is a new volume that just released this month, I think, and that is A Condition Called Love. And y'all, this one was so good. Oh my god. This is another thing I was pleasantly surprised about. Like, yeah, we'll get into it. Basically, it follows this girl who has never had like a strong interest in romance or relationships and stuff, and this guy, he gets broken up very like the girl he was dating breaks up with him in a very public and like loud, overreactive type of way, and she ends up comforting him, and then he falls in love with her at first sight. And like it's about them kind of doing the trials and tribulations of like trying a relationship, because she's not really interested in relationships and romance, but you know, she's trying to learn how it feels to love somebody and stuff, and he is very overzealous about her. So that's the setup. This first volume was excellent. Like, I didn't think I would like it that much. Like, obviously I thought I would like it enough to buy it, but I heard a lot of people say that he's very, you know, it's the setup where he likes her more than she likes him. But in this one it works in some ways. Like, for me personally at least, like, I feel like I can relate to our main girl a lot, as, you know, I don't think I'll ever find love in this life. But on the other hand, like, my avoidant attachment style does not allow for people like him to enter my life. So it's just so interesting, because this is something that would never happen in my life. But at the same time, like, I can relate to her. So it's like an alternate universe of myself, if that makes sense. Which is why I think I like it so much. So overall, like, I love this first volume, and I already have the other ones pre-ordered. And now I'm, like, mad that I didn't pre-order more, because I only pre-ordered up to volume 3, but I should have just went and ordered the rest of them. I didn't realize I was gonna like it so much, you know? I recommend this one. It's gonna be a hot shoujo out right now. And the last first volume that I read in this video is Goodnight, Punpun. I actually did not read this whole thing. I just read like up to where I consider, or where I think is like the first like if this was released in singles, this would be the first volume amount. It's like half the book. Because I don't know, guys. I don't know how I feel about this series. I've been like holding on to this one for a really long time, because, you know, a lot of people always talk about how depressing it is and how it like literally ruins their mood and stuff, and like puts them into deep depressions and stuff. And, you know, I've been waiting for a long time to be in the right headspace for this. And, you know, I even read Soliden as like a, oh, let me get more familiar with Inio Asano's writing style and like his other works. And I love Soliden so much that I was really excited to get into this one once I felt like I was in the right headspace for it. And, you know, I feel like I was ready now. And I read the first part, but I'm not that interested. Like, I don't know how to explain why it doesn't appeal to me. I think it has a lot to do with like how Punpun's emotions are expressed in the book. But I'm pretty lukewarm about this. I'll obviously finish the rest of this, but I quite honestly do not think I'll be buying the rest of it and like continuing much further past this volume, unless something crazy happens in the second half. Yeah, I feel kind of bad about it. Like, it's such a highly regarded series that I was expecting myself to like it a lot more than I did, I guess. So, as promised, I will be giving my overall rankings of all the first volumes I've read. So, we're gonna go from the bottom of the pyramid. Goodnight, Punpun. That should be expected. I feel like I've had very positive thoughts about every other volume besides this one. So I think that this comes to no surprise that Goodnight, Punpun is unfortunately at the bottom of the pyramid tonight. Our next candidate is actually going to be Something's Wrong with Us. So I slightly disliked this one. I was neutral on this one. And then from here on, everything's pretty positive. Like, it honestly pains me to put the next volume so low, but, you know, it's an order, so it has to go low at some point. Next, I put Anti-Romance. I really liked this one, but I think that a lot of the other first volumes I read were a lot stronger than this one. Next, we have Usotoki Rhetoric with the same explanation. Like, there are some volumes in this video that I think have strong potential to be, like, some of my top favorites. So, you know, somebody's got to be at the bottom, and that's... Well, Usotoki Rhetoric made it to the second half of the pyramid, so I don't know. Next we have Perfect World, so I guess we're in the top 5 now. This is the upper half of the video. Well, I think Perfect World is, like, smack dab in the middle. So this is, like, the point of our standard deviation bell curve. So we love that for her. Next we have Princess Jellyfish. It kind of pains me to not put it in top 3, but I feel like because, you know, I just read, I recently watched the anime, like, nothing in here was super surprising to me. Whereas, like, for example, Tokyo Ghoul, I haven't experienced the series in so long that, like, the first volume still had an element of surprise to it. So, I love you, Princess Jellyfish, but you'll be up there later. Not right now, though. And then Tokyo Ghoul is coming in 3rd place. I wish I did this in a better manner. It's fine. And then in second place, A Condition Called Love. We love this one. And then in number 1, I feel like I had to do this. Kowloon is going in number 1 for today, just because of like the way I ran out to get the second volume of the series, quite literally a couple days after I finished the first volume. Like, I ran to Barnes & Noble for that thing. It might not be the best in this like collection of books in terms of like quality or like strength, I guess, but for me personally, this one was the most intriguing of the whole bunch, and I'm very interested to see where this one goes. It kind of fits into a lot of things that I personally enjoy in my manga and anime series. So yeah, that is my overall first volume try on video. I really enjoyed preparing for this, so if it does well, I'll probably do another one with a lot of the first volumes that you saw in the first part of the video, where I had like all of them stacked up. Obviously we didn't get very far into that stack, especially considering I got a bunch of different first volumes that weren't even in the stack. But yeah, I'd love to do a part 2, so let me know. And also just let me know if you read any of these series and if you think that any of them vastly improve or decline in quality as they progress. I'm pretty interested in that. I feel like a lot of series don't end off strong. I've noticed that in like anime and manga. Like, usually that last arc just falls really flat. So I'm pretty curious to know if any of these have that same issue. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more of me. Subscribe if you'd like to hear my thoughts on any of these series moving forward, because they will be featured in reading logs once I continue reading more of them. So, bye-bye!